I'm sure that by now you've heard a lot of people, including me, talk about why messaging is really fundamental for building success in your own business. But I don't know if you really understand tangibly how that can really impact what you're doing, how you're showing up, and the income that you're making. And I'm about to share with you a story around a big messaging mistake that I made that cost me a lot of money in my business, and then what I ended up doing to be able to fix it, right? So here's the thing. I consider myself by all means an expert at messaging, at branding, at marketing, right? I have an MBA. I have a specialization in branding. I've been investing a lot of money, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in getting better at messaging and hiring coaches and going through programs, certifications, all of these different things to really understand messaging. And on top of that, I've been doing this for quite some time. I started my career in 2007, and it has really evolved into the version that you see today. Moving, like, my biggest shift happened in 2016 when I officially launched my business online and really went deep into helping people with their own messaging. So I know messaging. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I feel and I consider myself an expert in this field. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients by now, helping them clarify their message. And I've built my own message too. However, I have a friend of mine that says you can't see the color of your own eyes. And I did not realize how I was myself making certain messaging mistakes that really ended up costing me a lot of money. So basically, what happened is this. A few years ago, I decided that I was going to make a change in the way that I was doing messaging. I came up with this really amazing idea. Well, I thought it was an amazing idea. I created this guide called 20 Ways to Find and Sign High Ticket Clients Online. And my friends, this guide is insanely good, okay? It's pages and pages long with different strategies, templates, scripts. I even have like a Reels instruction, like how to record Reels. I have a 365-day content calendar. I mean, within this guide, there's everything that you could possibly imagine to help people really amplify these strategies and make them, like, help them attract clients into their business. I mean, it is really, really good. So I remember vividly on a Friday afternoon coming up with this idea and feeling so inspired to put it out there and feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to perform so very well. At the time, I had what I thought was a very clear understanding on who my ideal audience was, right? I was like, well, obviously, my ideal audience is made up of coaches, consultants, and experts, still are. And the problem that they're having is that they don't know how to find high ticket clients, right? So I created this guide to help these people solve that problem. Now, the thing that I want you to understand in terms of messaging is that the most important question for you to be able to answer to build success in what you're doing is, what is my audience's problem? What is the problem? Let me rephrase it even better. What is the problem that my most ideal version of my ideal client has right now, right? So in the moment, I believe that the problem that my audience had was that they didn't know how to find and sign high ticket clients. So here I was creating this guide for that. So what happened was I started running ads to this guide, right? And I had a whole system where people would sign up for the PDF. And then from the PDF, I would take them to the webinar and I would invite them to a 15-minute call with our team and have our own process. Immediately, I start running ads to this, and immediately I start getting amazing responses, right? Conversion rate for the guide was like through the roof. People were signing up like crazy. They loved it. They wanted it. They were like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I was getting emails and messages and feedback on what an amazing guide it was. They'd never seen anything like this. This is the most valuable thing I've seen in my life. Blah, 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 right? And I was like, yes, I love it. This is really good. I had people signing up. Cost per lead was extremely low. And then people started booking more and more calls. So our calendar got filled up with these calls. Now, parallel to me running ads, I was doing my organic work, which is something that I've always done in my business, posting content on social media, nurturing my existing audience, and growing my audience organically as well, right? I was doing that as well. And I was promoting this guide, but because this is work that I'm doing organically, it also means that they're getting a lot more context around who I am and what I do, and more around what my message is all about. So my organic audience was here kind of looking at what I was doing as well. And again, they were getting all of this context. So what started happening is, again, a lot of people booking calls, right? Both through our ads and through organic. And we started growing and growing our business and generating more sales and generating more sales. And we were super happy and excited that this thing was happening and everything was working, and yay, all good, right? Here's the thing though. Because we were growing and because we were making an income, we didn't really take the time to analyze where the sales were coming from. So, around 10 months later, we sit down and I'm like, you know what? I really want to analyze where sales have come from in the last year, because if we want to keep on scaling, we need to make sure that we can do more of that. Do we need to scale our ads? Do we need to scale our organic strategy? What is it that we need to do? So we sat down and analyzed all of our sales from the last 10 months and came to realize that none of the sales had come from ads. 0 of the sales, right? And I was spending around $4,000 per month. So this is about a $40,000 mistake, right? Basically, right? Because by that point, I'd been around 10 months in of doing this, right? So none of the people that had purchased anything from me had come from our ad strategy. Imagine my surprise. And then when I really sat down to analyze, okay, well, what is going on? Why is this actually happening? Why am I here spending all of this money on ads and doing all of these things, and we're not making sales from ads? Fortunately, I was doing great organically. We'd hit multiple 6 figures. Our business was growing. That was going great. But yet I was spending all of this money on ads and trying to understand what happened. Well, what happened is that I didn't really understand with clarity my audience or my audience's problem. Because again, let me say this correctly. The most important thing when we think about messaging is, who is my perfect, ideal, like spot on version of my audience, the person that is ready to buy, ready to go, ready to move forward. Who is that person? I need to understand who they are and what their problem is and how they're experiencing the problem. It turns out that I got it all wrong. By creating content around helping you find and sign clients, I was attracting people who were not signing clients, who did not know how to make money online at all, did not know how to, they were too much in the beginning phase of their business. And therefore, messaging is not something that they might see as a priority. In fact, by me creating this guide, their priority is all about, how do I find and sign high ticket clients, right? I literally had that on the guide. That was the name of the guide. So when I realized that I had the wrong problem, I was like, oh, that makes sense now, right? So as I dove deeper into understanding who my audience was, I realized that for my truest ideal audience, their issue isn't that they are attracting, they don't know how to find and sign clients. Their issue actually is that they are attracting clients, but not enough of them are the ready to invest version of their clients, like their total ideal version of their client. And that is something that messaging can solve, right? Where finding clients is not, obviously it is something that messaging can solve, but for these people, they're going to be more focused on investing in marketing. Whereas for the people who already know how to generate leads and already know how to attract clients, they will want to invest in something that's going to help them bring in better types of clients into their business. So as you can see, not understanding the problem basically screwed me over, and it made me lose a lot of money in my own business, because again, I was attracting people that were not necessarily the right fit. Now, I did actually afterwards analyze it and realize that I did make maybe a couple of sales that had come from ads, right? So at the end, maybe we had spent about $40,000 in throughout the year, and we ended up making maybe around $20,000 from that, right? But it still was not what we expected. And again, we were just speaking to the wrong type of audience. So this is the importance of understanding who your audience is and what their problems are, because when you get this, it means that you end up attracting a different type of person into your business. And that is really what it's all about at the end. So if you want to learn how to attract these ready to invest clients, I actually have a training where I go very in depth into explaining how to make sure that you're not repelling premium clients and that you're speaking to the person who is the ready to invest version of your ideal audience, right? Just like I ended up doing for myself. Obviously, how I ended up fixing it was going deeper, investing more, and realizing that I had a really big epiphany. I think I'll do another training on this. I'll do another episode talking about this, but I had a very big epiphany around how to speak to the right person and who was my ideal, like who my ideal person actually was. And that truly changed my business and the way that I approach a lot of things. So anyways, go to readytoinvestclients.com to sign up for that training, watch it, and be blown away by how I explain this. And that's it. Let me know in the comments if this resonated, if you've made some mistakes like that as well. And make sure that you follow me everywhere as Fabi Paolini. I will see you